Things go from ugly to worse here in America. Hi, welcome to Real News Live. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Definitely appreciate everybody being here. Hitting that share button helps us a ton getting more viewers. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Susie. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Sabrina. Hi, other Rodney. Hi, Charlotte. Brenda. Christina. Karen. Linda. Shirley. Karen. William. Sorry to hear about your puppy, William. That's long day out there. Long day. Lots of stuff has happened. Hi, Minnie. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Mark. Hi, Tia. How you guys all doing tonight? We're starting our Thanksgiving fundraiser now because we're hoping we can at least raise enough money to feed some families. We're hoping to go past that this year, but we don't know. So we're starting fundraiser now. But today, of all things, a fire at a major refinery or major natural gas hub refinery in Oklahoma. I'm sure you've seen the post that I posted earlier today. It's crazy. Evacuations, road closures after the explosion at the Wanaco plant in Medford, Oklahoma. Natural gas prices are going to go up, of course, especially after the main transfer line exploded 2 days ago on the 7th in Texas. The fire, of course, that has been put out at the Energy Transfer Station pipeline that exploded in Texas. That's a natural gas pipeline that was operated by Energy Transfers. And it just adds to more natural gas issues. Literally. Medford, Oklahoma. This is going to add for more energy issues. And is it on purpose? We don't know. But it's kind of fishy that within days of each other, the amount of gas, of course, that has been burnt or not going to be distributed now because of this is ridiculous. We don't know how long it's going to last so far. We know evacuations have been issued so far, and nobody has been allowed back in the area. And the fairgrounds buildings in Pond Creek was open. You cannot use 81 or Highway 81 south of Medford all the way to Highway 81. Oklahoma Highway Patrol has closed several roads in Grant County at the intersection of Gear and Halls are all closed at this time. Additionally, railways US 60 and 81 in Pond Creek is closed. It is just crazy. Crazy. Yeah, crackdown on natural gas and gasoline too at the same time. All that. After we hear AI, of course, an AI bot wrote a scientific paper on itself. The researcher behind the experiment says she hopes she didn't open Pandora's box. Oh my goodness. this could be worse and worse every day, literally, as we're looking at it. Pandora's box might already be open with artificial intelligence at this point by asking it to basically tell itself how it's done. An artificial intelligence algorithm called GPT-3 wrote a thesis on itself in less than 2 hours. All the researcher prompted the AI to do was write a paper about itself. And it wrote a full thesis within 2 hours. Very, very good research. So much, though, that it's being sent in to be published now in a scientific journal. Have we jumped the line on AI? Of course, Google said it earlier this month, that their AI is not sentient, even though now more leaks have come out that supposedly Google's AI actually requested an attorney or lawyer for itself. The LAMBDA supposedly became Sentinel and had even asked to hire an attorney for itself. Now, that coming out, that's not just saying the AI is sentient. It's saying the AI is sentient enough to know that it needs protection from the idiots that control it now. It is just crazy watching this shit happen. We got fires in oil, fires in gas. We got food supply issues, peanut butter. Try to find peanut butter on a shelf near you. Of course. Oh, it's because Jif recalled peanut butter. 2 months ago. Literally, 2 months ago, Jif had a peanut butter recall. For 2 Q numbers. 2 Q numbers, not hundreds of Q numbers. 2. I know it's ridiculous that people aren't paying attention. Yeah, they are military based. These machine learning are basically, and now they're on the internet, so they can do research. Onion recalls, tampons having issues, formula still some places having issues, peanut butter. I mean, what's next? When are people going to wake up and see that there's a problem happening here in America? And not just America. The United Nations today said billions are facing food insecurity levels. The world is moving backwards. More than 2 billion people globally are facing moderate to severe difficulty obtaining enough to eat. 2 billion people. Let me say that again. That's already number is at 2 billion. This went from a couple 100 million to 2 billion within a month. People aren't waking up. There's a problem. We only have 7.75 billion people in the world, and 2 billion of them are hungry at this point. And people aren't waking up to that. I don't know what's going to wake them up. The world is moving backwards. I mean, the horrific statistics on the world hunger levels showing that billions of people are facing food insecurities on a brink of starvation at this point. I mean, the number of the world hungry rose to 2.3 billion people facing moderate to severe difficulty obtaining enough to eat. That number is not facing the 924 million that are still having some difficulty finding food. That's over 3 billion people right now. And it's only expected to get worse. Of course, all 5 agencies that have reported in addition to disruption to supply from the war to Ukraine more frequently in extreme climate events, and of course, lax and more recalls on stuff. Lax amount of people working, not enough staff. It's all adding up. We should not be in this problem. Food pantries can't get food. Literally, they're getting less than 50% of what they got last year, and they have 10 times more people. Literally, food banks have 10 times more people. The real danger, it will climb higher in the months ahead. Even more worrying is that when this group is broken down, a staggering 50 million people in 45 countries, just one step away from famine. Literally. This is crazy. Yeah, Sri Lanka's prime minister. I don't know if you know what's happened in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka just faced massive inflation. They've turned on their own government at this point. The country went bankrupt because they did the same thing we do now. Their debt exceeded their GDP, and they couldn't pay it off, and nobody wanted to carry their debt anymore. Now that people are taking U.S.-based currency and Chinese currency and replacing their holdings of U.S. currency with it as an investment currency, our currency is no longer the world's dollar, and it's becoming less and less every day. It's scary, but we need to wake up. Seriously. You need to have talks with your friends, your families, your neighbors about waking up. This isn't going to go away anytime soon. I wonder how much power is going to be next week, when power plants that run off of natural gas are having to buy natural gas at an extreme rate, or pay for transportation of natural gas through trucks instead of pipeline systems. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. You're experiencing lag out there. It is not me. This is Facebook all the way, lagging me out. Not you guys. It's definitely not my style. But crazy. And of course, now we have Omicron BA.5, and explaining why it's such a concern and what to do to try to avoid it at this point. Omicron subvariant BA.5 is causing a fresh wave of reinfections that are sweeping the nation, literally. They don't even understand how some people are catching the virus. People such as homebodies now are coming down with this virus that have not been exposed to anybody with symptoms or the virus itself. BA.5 is more immunity evading than other variants. Prior infection and vaccines don't stop it. Experts say, testing and know where to get treatment are key. We're back to the mask again, but don't believe in that. Yeah, we are in trouble again with this new variant. I've been talking about this new variant long before Fauci did, though. So I'm not playing the Fauci game here. The subvariant, of course, is going to put a dent on summer fun, just like Delta variant did last year. Experts right now are saying it's only going to get harder to avoid it in weeks and months ahead. Those of us who escaped for the 2.5 years, this is just another turn of events. This isn't airborne, obviously. It's airborne at this point. They're not determined that yet officially, but the way people are catching it, and some remote people are catching it, it has to be an airborne. But it's crazy. Can't avoid respiratory viruses forever, unless you're completely cease interaction with every and all other human beings and isolate yourself with filtration. COVID-19 reinfections are spiking around the globe. In some cases, people who were infected just weeks or months ago are getting hit with COVID again. If you were infected with the original Omicron or even BA2.12.1, the immunity for those infections does not protect you for BA4 or BA5. Good news is that they're trying and hoping the vaccines still do at some point. But there is evidence-based treatments like the Polavox works well for vulnerable populations, especially when taken early. That's the new medication for COVID. So if you're at risk and you feel like you have symptoms, get to a doctor quickly. Get prescribed the new medication given out for COVID. It's shown for especially working well in the vulnerable population. I know a lot of people here don't want to admit when they're vulnerable, but they need to. It's going to tick higher and higher with infection rates altogether. So it's a good time now to develop your own action plan for if you get the variant. It's PAV. I'll put it in chat because I cannot pronounce it. Should be in chat for you guys there, the new medication. That's what you're going to ask your doctor to put you on right away if you feel it's COVID. Have them test you and put you on it. No, it has to be prescribed by a doctor. Unless you're not in the U.S. Canada, I know, and some other countries allow or pharmacists to prescribe. Be safe. Literally, I mean, we're seeing vulnerable people, 92, older, people that don't interact with anybody, getting sick. That's not good, William. That's not good. You really need to watch where you're going. But this risk, of course, is going to get worse. As we know, COVID waves do get worse. That's not all that's happening in the world. That's not it. I mean, there's more and more every time you turn around. Every time you turn around. Zelensky, of course, sacks Ukraine's envoy to Germany and other ambassadors today because Germany's not giving them what they want. Of course, the announcement of sacking the Ukraine's ambassador to Germany, India, and the Czech Republic, Norway, and Hungary. All those positions were, of course, vacated today because they're not providing help or aid to Ukraine at this point. They've already given enough. Ukraine, of course, on Zelensky's side, saying he needs more help in order to even fight Russia at this point. Zelensky urged his diplomats to drum international support and military aid for Ukraine as it tried to fend off Russia's invasion. And the people that didn't get the job done, the countries that didn't give in, of course, the envoys got fired. It's sad because at this point, it's not looking good for Ukraine. Kiev and Berlin is currently at odds over German-made turbines undergoing maintenance in Canada. It's crazy. It is crazy what's happening. The world, literally, Canada and Germany are fighting. Ukraine's fighting. Germany wants Ottawa to return the turbine to Gazprom, which they took over, that pumps gas to Europe. But Kiev has urged Canada to keep the turbine, saying returning it would violate sanctions on Moscow. Just because it was a Russian-owned natural gas giant, this is based in Germany. They've already taken it away. Yeah, Joe is sending more. Got Israel worried about right now. And the fall of Israel is talked about in the Bible. A 2 million man army will march upon Israel. Who knows? We have yet to see what's happening. Germany, of course, is starting to ration hot water, turning down the heat in case Russia cuts off its natural gas supply completely, because it's already been well restricted. Germany is facing, of course, its possibility of cold showers and reducing the heat this winter, which will be drastic problems. German real estate companies, Volusia said it would lower temperatures in tenants' natural gas central heating systems. Germany faces the gas prices, of course, coming from Russia, and the reduced, the situation could be worse. Some landlords in Germany are already rationing hot water, and are talking about turning it down, even more heating in Europe's largest economy. Battles soaring energy prices and costs due to rapid reductions of supplies. It is sad to see this. The UN is falling apart, or NATO is falling apart. We have Germany fighting with Canada. We have Germany, one of the biggest GDP in NATO compared to us. The second biggest GDP in NATO, Germany. All of the EU, Germany is the top producer, top GDP. And it's failing. And it's not the only place. I can't help it, that's Facebook doing that. It has nothing to do with me at all. Literally, my computer has 2 graphics cards, 2000 bit up down, or gigabit internet up and down. I'm running on like 17 or between 12 and 17% of my total computer's capacity. So it's literally Facebook doing that to my feed. I'm sorry, you guys. I wish it wouldn't. I really wish it would. But it's sad. We're watching this happen. Of course, China is now demanding the end of the U.S.-Taiwan military collusion, demanding it immediately. Beijing has demanded the U.S. to cease military collusion with Taiwan during a virtual meeting with the Joint Chiefs of Staff from the two countries, whose relationships have grown increasingly fractured. Of course, General Mark Milley and Lu Zhiqiang that China had no room for compromise. No room. The issue is affecting its core interest, which self-governed Taiwan, which included self-governing Taiwan. Beijing claimed that its own territory, and it is, and it will be annexed by force if necessary from the U.S. And the U.S. is still just playing this game. The U.S. is still playing this game. We are basically pushing a war on two fronts now. We have so many servicemen deployed overseas in Europe right now, pushing Russia by sending more weapons of that can fire directly inside of their country to hit oil and gas supplies there. As we know, the Chinese ruble has become the dominant currency in the world. Not the world traded currency, but the most stable currency in the world, as its value has skyrocketed among sanctions. China demanding the U.S. to cease and reverse cease the reversing of history, and cease the U.S.-Taiwan military collusion to avoid impacting China-U.S. relationships. I mean, literally, if this impacts our relationship with China, we can bankrupt. China could call in their $9 trillion we owe them, and that would be devastating. Completely devastating at this point. So much going on in the world. Natural gas shortages to come. That's obvious. We have food shortages already forming here in the U.S. Russia's talking about taking Alaska. China wants Taiwan, Japan, and the islands. And Miley is an idiot. That is for sure. You guys pretty much nailed all of it. It's true. I mean, and it's sad knowing that there's 7.5 or 7.7 billion people on this earth, and over 3 billion of them are going hungry tonight. Not with a complete diet. I mean, over 2 million of those, 3 million people, have at least missed one meal every day this week. Talking over 1.5 billion people having less than one meal to eat a day this week. Some, of course, one meal every 2 days. It is drastic what is happening. Like I said, it's not just our country at this point. Got to raise money, of course, to help people eat. That's why we're raising money to feed Americans here at home. So please share out the pinned link at the bottom for our Thanksgiving fundraiser so we can feed as many people as possible this year. Every $34 raised is another meal provided for a family. A full meal for everybody in the family for Thanksgiving. All the trimmings and desserts. If you guys can afford to donate, please do. We definitely appreciate it. We will be drawing a name, of course, on the 15th, which is only 6 days away, for the next $100 winner. And that money comes right out of my own pocket, the money that I give to winners. All money raised for the channel goes right to charity. But God bless you guys. It's a crazy time out there. And it's just going to get worse. Going to get worse. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful night. I have a long day tomorrow. No nurses and Grandpa, of course, probably raring and ready to go. But get some rest. Be prepared. If you're not prepared yet, message me. We can talk. Join a prepper group. There's lots of them in the area. It's not about having a huge stockpile. It's about knowing what to do in a situation when shit hits the fan. But God bless you. God bless America. And good night.